I think like my first early memory of sexual orientation or sexual activity, I remember me being very horny and masturbated a lot. I masturbated really early, like 9 or 10. Yeah, like really early. I think it was early for most kids. I think most kids don't even like. I like masturbated all over the house. My mom and dad won't want to hear this, but like I don't care. Like it's just I masturbated all over the house. I humped everything. Because the thing is, I was home alone a lot because I went to a different school than my brother and sister did. My mom was like usually like not around so often. Like she was either away or like doing other things in our house growing up. So I just remember being very like I loved my penis and how much joy it brought me. I forgot what I masturbated about. Is that bad? What did I masturbate to? I always was aware of that what I'm doing isn't the only way of being. What my sister does as a woman, as a girl, is not the only way of being. So just because in our house we had 5 people who showed me one way of living a life, I always knew like, well, this is nice and I'm glad, but it can't be the only way of being. And so instinctually I just knew that if I'm this way, there's probably an outlet for it. It's just not my family. I'm going to struggle with this for a while because my family was going through a lot of crap. And I was like, okay, let me not push this gay agenda thing if it's a thing for a while. But I remember being in school, like, how old were we, like 10 or 11, and be like, I'm in love with this guy. I'm in love with my friend. I remember there's a moment that we actually exchanged. He brought me a ring from his house and gave it to me. It was very loving. It wasn't like a lot of like macho people would probably think it was very like gay, and it was to some extent, but it was also just like 2 boys showing affection to each other in the most nicest way possible. And I remember that's how I remember it. I don't know whether he remembers it that way. I think he's a straight guy. It didn't make a difference to him. What did I not find disgusting? What did I actually like? I just liked the male attention. And it wasn't sexual per se. Yeah, my father wasn't there. He worked all the time. My mother was all the time there. She's always there. The absence of a paternal attention means I'm seeking it sexually. I don't know. It could be argued that subconsciously I mapped on my sexual attention to men because my father was absent. And so I need the presence of that. Maybe. But I remember being really young and having still, like, my father was missing or whatever, but I was 11 and I fell in love with this boy. Like, I loved him. And was that because of my father's absence, or was it because I just instinctually liked the fact of attention? Do you know what I mean? I think I earned being gay when I was just past university. No, it was like the middle of university. Yeah, it was middle of university. I was living with guys. I fell in love with my roommate. He knows this now, but at the time it was impossible to tell him. I remember feeling love for him, and that's what I was like. Okay, I've turned gay. Like I'm a full-on gay man who's a gay Muslim. This is the body, and I remember thinking, this might be a bad, awful things to think about, but I remember thinking, you know what? This is hard, being Muslim and gay in this family, in this community. But it gets worse being Muslim and gay in other communities, right? India, Iraq. Yeah. So when I had sex with a guy, it wasn't the best experience. I actually remember having, I think, probably a hookup date. I'm not sure how I arranged this. I think it was during university. Maybe it was during, yeah, I was 21, so it was around the time of university, where a guy picked me up in his car. He had a roll of tissue paper, like those toilet rolls, on his dashboard of his car, and we pulled over into like this abandoned parking lot, pulled in, and just started masturbating in this. Like, this is like an NSA like hookup online type of thing, and I just remember like he touched me. I think this is like really my first early experience. I can't remember if it was my first experience, my earlier experience. He touched me on my penis, and I was just like so like overwhelmed that I came so quickly, and I'm like I gotta go, right? And he finished too, luckily. But I was like, okay, I know now that I'm a homo. I have to go home. It was a very weird reaction. And he's like, should I drive you? Like, he live over there. No, I gotta go. I just got out of the car and I left. I mean, I forget, like right now I work at a pub and I forget that I'm gay. I'm reminded that I'm gay, but I forget that I'm gay. Well, it's a straight pub. Like, it's a sports bar. There's a lot of like testosterone straight men who like cars and pussy. You know what I mean? Or sports. And I'm constantly reminded, oh yeah, I don't like those things. The gendered things rather than sexual things, right? People constantly, I mean, I tell people I'm gay at the pub and it's fine, but I'm like, a lot of the other people will tend to hold on to that and speak about it. Like, and it threatens their sexuality some way, or it threatens the idea of masculinity, therefore they have to be more macho and put me down to talk about how I like to suck dick or whatever. And it's like, I mean, yes, that's part of my orientation. That's what I do. That's what women do. Why do we talk about only that part of me? I'm educated. I've traveled the world. I've other interests. Why is it that? So I'm constantly, and I think that's not a huge issue, but I do think it comes up as a gay person. Like, you have to navigate these spaces sometimes through this lens of, oh right, they don't know me, but that goes the same for my race, right? There's a community that gave me access to my partner. The one I have now, the one I found during that time. And, I mean, if it wasn't for this community, I would never have met him. And this community didn't last long. This brown gay Muslim community I'm talking about particularly. That gave me access to acceptance of myself and then maybe other friends who were gay or not gay. I do feel annoyed that, I think about my attachment to my Muslim spiritual connection. I have to toss of it aside when I don't think I have to. I always thought Islam was great. I wish I stopped going to mosque for like Friday mosque. I used to go a lot, but then I think what happened was my schedule. I got into master's program and I couldn't figure my schedule out properly, and I was working too much. I don't pray 5 times a day. We do Ramadan together, my partner and I. But I do say for myself is like, again, my God is not going to kill me for being gay. He's going to kill me for being an asshole. Right? If there is one like that. But I don't know. I always felt like there's so many parts of me that are good. I was a smart kid. I was obedient. I did all the good things. Didn't do drugs. I didn't drink. I could have done all those things very easily. But I didn't want to. Why not? Why would all those parts of me disappear just because I like dick or male attention in this case? Yeah. So I think I reconcile it because I think we all instinctually want to be happy and oriented, like have an alignment in our sexual orientation. I like the words here, like you are looking for alignment. It's hard enough to find alignment, regardless if you're straight, gay, or whatever. Life is already difficult to find that alignment, so why make it harder?